Blake Lively's Subpoena-gate issue. I'm scratching my head to find a legitimate reason for the Vanzan lawsuit.
Vanzan's subpoena was released by her own people. Whoever that was that released it from your own camp to Daily Mail, they wanted to get you. It was for sure a mole.
The lawsuit nobody noticed. On an ordinary Thursday afternoon, a clerk in Manhattan Supreme Court stamped index number 654-27-2024 and slid it onto a metal cart. The complaint, filed by an outfit called Vanzan Inc, ran just 9 pages, named 10 Doe defendants, and asked for broad discovery powers. No press alert, no red carpet flashbulbs, exactly how Vanzan wanted it. Except buried inside that dull paperwork was a fuse already burning toward 3 famous names: Blake Lively, Ryan Reynolds, and director Justin Baldoni. Once the sparks hit oxygen, they ignited countersuits, leaks, and a PR wildfire that refused to die. And everything that followed proves one thing. In Hollywood, secrets cost more than box office bombs. But the first move was only a shadow on the wall.
Ryan Reynolds made an appearance today at the Time 100 Summit. Of course, avoided any questions about the lawsuit, but also his wife. And I think we finally broke him.
The shadow play. Vanzan's gambit looked routine, until you read the fine print. By suing does 1 to 10, Lively's lawyers pocketed immediate subpoena power without alerting Baldoni's camp. 4 days later, a process server slid papers under the office door of Stephanie Jones, Baldoni's ex-publicist, demanding every text, email, and Slack thread mentioning Lively, Reynolds, or their children. Jones, jobless, cash-strapped, and terrified of contempt, complied. Within weeks, thousands of private messages sat on Lively's hard drive.
Blake Lively and Ryan Reynolds' shady company named Vanzan has been exposed. They have both manipulated the legal system to get back at Justin Baldoni,
including a half-serious rant from Baldoni calling Hollywood a snake pit with better sushi. Months later, that rant would resurface as Exhibit B in Lively's harassment claim. At the time, nobody outside the legal bubble knew the harvest had begun. Secrets, of course, have an expiry date. Vanzan's murky past corporate archaeologists traced Vanzan to a 2008 Delaware charter, then a 2010 California filing tied to a San Diego telesales collective notorious for pushy cardholder services calls. The FTC subpoenaed the outfit in 2010. A San Diego landlord won a $102,000 judgment in 2011 after Vanzan allegedly bolted on rent. By 2013, the entity was FTB suspended. Corporate speak for dead in the water. 8 years later, abracadabra, the corpse reanimated. Sacramento filings dated April 2021 list Blake Ellender Reynolds as CEO, secretary, and treasurer. Why resurrect a tainted shell?
And just to recap, Vanzan is the company that Blake Lively hid behind when she obtained Justin Baldoni's text messages without his knowledge.
One theory: the old EIN still opened dormant bank portals useful for corporate housekeeping. Another: dusty paperwork draws fewer gawking reporters than a shiny new LLC with Lively on the masthead. Yet a ghost company can't haunt alone. Enter the dragons: Ryan, Blake, and the name game. A deeper dig revealed Eric Binder, Ryan Reynolds' longtime money handler, signed the filing. Fans quickly noticed Reynolds' college nickname, Van, and Lively's Tarzana roots, Van plus Zan. The paperwork dated to October 2010, the same autumn both stars shot Green Lantern while still partnered elsewhere. Tabloids have long claimed sparks flew on set. Paperwork now suggested a joint bank account flew even earlier. Reynolds laughed off questions, mumbling something about quirky coincidences, but made no outright denial. Meanwhile, the updated Vanzan bylaws gave Reynolds 49% voting power, just shy of majority, but enough to nudge any boardroom. Dragons rarely roar alone, and this pair had perfected synchronized fire.
So Josh Boswell from the Daily Mail did some digging and found out that Blake Lively was not the original owner of Vanzan. And he didn't even need to look inside of any crystal balls to find it.
Still, even dragons can't outrun friendly fire. The Mole and the Leak, January 7th, 2025, 2:13 a.m. A Daily Mail editor opened an email marked "Off the Record." Attached, the subpoena Vanzan served on Stephanie Jones. The sender used a proton mail burner that vanished days later. Within hours, legal bloggers were parsing the document. Subpoenagate trended on X by breakfast. Lively's spokesperson blasted a betrayal from within. Skeptics suspected a controlled detonation, leak the subpoena first, file the harassment suit second, and shape the narrative. Either way, the plan misfired. Lawyers called the move Franken litigation. Public opinion called it celebrity cloak and dagger with zero chill. Whatever the motive, one result was clear. The secret complaint was now global gossip, and the target decided to shoot back. Baldoni's counteroffensive. January 16, 2025. Baldoni's team filed a 154-page answer, plus a blistering $400 million countersuit alleging defamation, extortion, and abuse of process. The filing quoted a text Baldoni claims Lively sent Reynolds.
He just used his good old investigative skills. So apparently Vanzan has a shady history, which includes other lawsuits. And it all links back to a man named Eric Rothschild. So Blake Lively didn't officially become part of this company until a California filing in 2021, where she was then named the CEO.
Unleash the dragons if he won't bend. The countersuit accused Lively of doctoring timestamps, selectively quoting messages, and dangling Reynolds' Marvel clout as leverage. Marvel Studios promptly begged the judge to seal any Deadpool footage cited as threat. In response, Baldoni's lawyer Brian Friedman dry-tweeted, "If the suit fits, redact it." The judge was unimpressed, reminding counsel, this is not late-night television. Across town, yet another front was opening. Collateral damage. Stephanie and the Psychic Files. Stephanie Jones, once Lively's friendly rival in PR circles, now sat center stage, accused of leaking Baldoni's iCloud backups months before any subpoena existed. Jones fired back that she merely obeyed lawful process. Baldoni branded her the Trojan horse. Then came the bizarre. Court papers revealed Jones told colleagues she knew Baldoni's secrets from trusted psychic readings. She allegedly declared Baldoni's publicist Jennifer Abel a closet drinker, gambler, and spiritually pregnant with twins. Abel, who struggles with fertility, filed an emotional distress claim. Jones's lawyer dismissed it all as colorful office chatter.
And the only known business dealings that involved this company seem to have had some sort of connection to the Taylor Swift music video that Blake Lively directed. Now there's another company also called Vanzan Inc. that's listed out in New York, and their business address also links back to Ryan Reynolds' business management firm.
Friedman dubbed the excuse cosmic slander. Twitter promptly crowned Jones' number psychic PR, yet the fallout was just warming up. The social media inferno. As legal documents piled up, fan armies mobilized. Swifties sided with Lively, convinced Baldoni smeared Blake and Taylor's sisterhood. Reynolds' gin brand trended after a TikToker joked, "Each bottle comes with a subpoena." Baldoni's followers flooded Reddit, unearthing every charity event he ever hosted. One viral thread tallied which side's lawyers charged more per hour. Answer: Lively's by a gin-sized margin. Meanwhile, a YouTube breakdown of Vanzan's telemarketing past hit 3 million views in 48 hours, spawning the meme, "Press 1 to sue." Instagram Reels mashed Reynolds' Deadpool quips with court transcripts, scoring more laughs than late-night monologues. In the noise, sober legal experts tried explaining shell company subpoenas, but sober explanations seldom go viral. And while the internet screamed, money quietly moved. Follow the money. Bankers, brokers, and a mortgage in Malibu. Financial sleuths noticed Vanzan wired $2.4 million to a Delaware trustee 2 weeks before the subpoena leak. Same week,
is Vanzan Incorporated. This is an LLC that is owned by Blake Reynolds. The language throughout the lawsuit is intentionally vague because they never wanted the public to find it, okay? They never wanted the public to find it. This is, again, they're trying to work backwards to legitimize something that they likely stole.
Lively formed Sandpiper Holdings LLC in Nevada. Reynolds registered Laughing Dragon IP in Wyoming, holding nothing but non-tangible goodwill, valued at $45 million. Baldoni's countersuit flagged the transfers as possible asset shielding. Lively's accountant insisted it was routine risk management, the kind every Hollywood couple uses before a new movie opens. Still, real estate filings showed a Malibu cliff house, normally the family's summer sanctuary, refinanced on a 12-month adjustable note, not the 30-year jumbo one might expect from bankable stars. Gossip site Lux Ledger asked bluntly, "Are the power couple prepping for a legal meteor?" Yet the biggest players often hide off stage. The silent hand. White shoe lawyers and corporate service companies. Behind every headline stood men and women in charcoal suits. Vanzan's registered agent in Delaware, Fairbanks and Eldred.
September 27th, 2024. They were just trying to stomp on a butterfly that was sitting on a flower. Okay, like, this is insane. Don't let that fall through the cracks. Like, do not forget, this was all to take down
A boutique notorious for black box confidentiality clauses. Their senior partner once lobbied against shell company transparency bills. Over in New York, Baldoni hired Gideon and Ash, specialists in civil RICO wars. Court geeks noted the firm seldom files unless it smells treble damages. Meanwhile, a lesser-known player, Citrine Analytics, a data mining outfit contracted by Lively, built spreadsheets on every Baldoni tweet since 2012. Citrine's pitch deck bragged of psychographic triage for litigation advantage. Civil libertarians gulped. Hollywood feuds now deployed data weapons once reserved for political campaigns, which raised a question bigger than any celebrity spat. Boy Chu polices the powerful. Straw lawsuits.
Blake actually filed a secret lawsuit last year under a shell company called Vanzan Inc. This wasn't public at the time and didn't name any defendants, but it let her team legally subpoena communications from Justin's former publicist, Stephanie.
Shells suing does to sniff out critics have existed for decades. The difference now is scale. Digital footprints are vaster, e-discovery cheaper, and reputational stakes global. Law professors propose a 30-day rule: name a real defendant or watch your subpoena die. A New Jersey bill dubbed the Vanzan Fix would fine plaintiffs triple costs if they dismiss within 60 days. Entertainment guilds debate an ethics code. Producers must disclose any shell entity wielding subpoena power on a project. Old-school publicists roll their eyes. Good luck policing million-dollar egos, but acknowledge the climate is changing. When fans can crowdsource bank records in a weekend, secrecy loses its shelf life. And speaking of shelf life, the marriage rumor mill kept spinning. Cracks in the power couple. April 30th, 2025. Time 100 Summit. Ryan Reynolds strutted across the stage in a slate suit, telling jokes about aviation gin and third-grade volleyball. What he didn't do was mention Blake, Time's freshly crowned icon, once. Lively, booked for a fireside chat, ghosted the event, slipping out a side door minutes before showtime. Paparazzi captured her boarding a black SUV alone. Inside, seatbelt strap concealed, but no wedding ring visible. Hours later, talk show host Megyn Kelly blasted Lively for bastardizing Me Too to settle a script spat. Lively's team called the comment reckless. Reynolds called it white noise, but neither corrected the living separate rumor. Tabloids ran with it anyway, printing layouts of Blake's $42 million solo portfolio.
Which is how she had text messages in the complaint the New York Times reported on back in December. There had been a lot of speculation surrounding how she was able to receive those text messages, as the legal documents claimed that it had been obtained through a subpoena.
Yet, personal drama sometimes obscures the larger cultural aftershock. The culture split, fandoms at war. Zoomers on TikTok created split-screen courtroom duets, lip-syncing deposition excerpts while dancing. Millennials reposted Baldoni's tearful monologue from 5 feet apart as soft boy energy versus dragon energy. Boomers weighed in on Facebook, scolding Hollywood greed. Podcast hosts predicted the case will join Hulk vs. Gawker in media law textbooks. The rift even bled into fashion, a micro-trend of Team Dragon and Team Rabbit, Baldoni's birth year zodiac, shirts sold out on Etsy. Analysts estimate the feud has generated $48 million in earned media, publicity no PR budget could buy. Yet every click, every meme, every t-shirt prints another page in the court of public opinion, where verdicts arrive long before juries. And time, inevitably, will keep pushing this battle toward its reckoning. But that's a story for another day. Evidence sealed, reputations unraveling. A 9-page filing meant to stay invisible has blossomed into a months-long odyssey exposing shadow lawsuits, data mining, and the price of unfiltered ambition. Blake Lively, once the internet's wholesome muse, faces accusations of legal strong-arming
under this shell company called Vanzan Inc. Now, if you don't remember, these messages were Justin and his team allegedly talking about plans to destroy Blake and things like, "We can bury anyone," basically suggesting a coordinated effort to take her down behind the scenes.
Ryan Reynolds, king of quips, finds jokes thin when subpoenas land at his gin distillery. Justin Baldoni, framed as a minor antagonist, now strides center stage brandishing talk show invitations and a possible 9-figure damages claim. Collateral names: Stephanie Jones, Jennifer Abel, count lawyer bills they never budgeted for. Fandoms feud, professors draft reform bills, shell companies brace for sunlight. In Hollywood, endings are rewritten until test audiences cheer. Real life is messier. 1 year from now, a jury could slash claims to confetti or triple them to history-making wreckage. But the deeper verdict has already arrived. Weaponizing secrecy may win you a month of control, but spill the secret, and you unleash a narrative no handler can leash. So, as the docket marches toward 2026, remember the moral tucked inside those court exhibits. Dig a tunnel in the dark, and you may be the first to fall when daylight floods in. Because in the clash between fame and truth, only one side writes the script. Unless, of course, we're all reading it together.